Hello everybody and welcome to DC Fine Art. Today we're going to be working on our final review for the Paletteful Packs box for March 2025. And in this video, I am going to be doing a speed painting using only the products in this month's box. Also, I will be updating you on anything that I have any issues with, or if I extremely loved some of the products, I will definitely mention it in this video. Now, just a note to everybody who watches this is my opinion only of the products. This does not mean that everybody shares the same opinion. So just keep that in mind. If any of these products are something that you absolutely love, do not get hurt if I don't like them or if I do like them and you don't. I mean, this is just an opinion. And like I said, everybody is different. So no hurt feelings here. So it just may be that the techniques that I use may be different from what you use, but I will let everybody know what my opinions are and how things went in this review. Plus that, I'm going to be adding in an extra little demonstration because I am still a little puzzled on something, which I don't want to give it away. So after the speed painting, we're going to be doing a demonstration, an experiment, should I say, of the products that they gave us in this month's box compared to another product that I could think of that would be a little bit similar to what they were trying to go for, but I'm not for sure. We'll just see in the experiment. So enough of the chit chat. Let's go ahead and turn this around and let's get started with our speed painting. All right, so here I am starting out with I'm doing a soda can with a little bee and a straw in it. I went ahead and took out my reds and some blues for the shadows, like for the darker shadows, but then I had to darken it up a little bit more by throwing in some black. Now, once I got to layering in this, it really got thick quick. And trying to throw in my white, it wasn't coming out the way I was really hoping it would because of how thick it was. I did take out my Polycolor pencil and use it on a little area just to kind of see exactly what was going on here. This was totally different than what I have used, so it feels really different. I took out my odorless mineral spirits and started blending with it because the blender, well, didn't feel like it was getting me the results that I was really hoping for when blending. So yeah, I had to resort to that. But this here is the little bumblebee that I created using the Lyra pencils. And here it is. And we will go straight over to our final review. All right, so here is going to be the experiment of the day. We're going to be working side by side. I put the Lyra Rembrandt Polycolor on the right hand side. On the left is going to be the Polychromos. For exception though, I do have the Splender for the Lyra, but I just wanted to make sure to let you guys know that the only blender that I had for a colorless blender is the Full Blender Bright by Carandosh. So I will be using that for a blender for my Polychromos. Now, as you noticed in the speed drawing, where I was doing like a soda can and I did like a little bee on there, I did not use odorless mineral spirits on the bee. And it was so hard to try and get layers on there. I mean, I was even trying to get the little hairs from the bumblebee to show up with the white. That didn't work out very well. I tried to tone down some of the other colors using the white. That didn't work out very well. Even whenever I was trying to use my white in on top of some of these colors to kind of make them either a little bit brighter or kind of tone them down a little bit using my white, that also didn't work out very well. I did try out a little bit of the Polychromos white in there. So I did take out my Polychromos white and try to use it just to kind of see the difference there, because I noticed that something wasn't right. Something didn't feel good to me when working on this. I almost stopped working on this drawing just whenever I got through with the red. I almost didn't feel like carrying on and finishing it. And it's a very small piece. So it really had me feel like I was just working harder than what I normally would have to do to try and get the result that I wanted. And I still didn't get the result that I wanted at all. I just did not feel very good when using these. and I had to resort to, from the blender, since the blender wasn't working out very well, I resorted to my odorless mineral spirits to get the blending done that I needed. That worked, but yeah, that was a little bit of it. So here is just me going to do an experiment, just kind of get a feel of hand in hand Polychromos and Lyra. And the Polychromos are supposed to be, which they are, is supposed to be oil-based pencils that are a harder lead, so that way they do not break as easily and you can get fine details. The Lyra says that it is a oil-based pencil that you can sharpen to a sharp point, so that way you can get fine detail. So both these pencils say that they are. I already know by using Polychromos that yes, they are a harder lead that you can get fine detail with. So I already know that. But as far as these go, I just want to have one pencil in one hand and one in the other and just kind of see how they feel side by side. It's a good way to kind of get something going. I'm going to start out with the Polychromos, and we're just going to put in a black in here, lightly going in, and I can tell that I have a hard pencil here because the feel of it feels like a harder lead. I did have it sharpened really, really sharp to a fine tip. Okay, and I was pushing down lightly. I was not burnishing. Let's do the same thing with this one. Now, when I use this one, it feels really waxy, even though it's supposed to be an oil base, but maybe I should say really oily, really kind of thicker, softer. Does not feel like the Polychromos whatsoever. Like, it's a different type of feel. Okay, and I can just feel that there's just really a thickness on this one compared to the Polychromos. Now, if you were to, let's just say, blend this out with a blender, here is the blender. Oops, that broke. As you can tell, there's more crumbs on this side too. So here I'm using the colorless Splender blender to kind of fill in some of this area. Okay, that's all I can do on that one. Let's take the Caran d'Ache, and just like that, it actually got darker. Or it feels like it just filled in so much nicer. All right, so there we go. Those are the difference. So let me try this again. Okay, so here's their blender, and you can really tell a difference. I'm going to try lifting it up so you can see a little bit better. Maybe you guys can see it, but the Polychromos with the Caran d'Ache blender does so much better blending than the Lyra. There's still white showing up. There was enough pigment on the paper, so it should have no problem there, but it just didn't blend out very good. While this one did, and actually looks like it got a little bit richer in color. So, and that's what the Splender blender was supposed to do to Lyra, by the way. What the Polychromos is doing with the Caran d'Ache blender. So here's a white. So let's go in, and this is Polychromos. Let's go in and try and make a white line. Or we could actually just make a highlight. Let's go all the way up and down. Now, I'm not expecting this to be super, super bright white, because that's just not what these pencils do. I mean, I can already tell you that. It's a harder core lead. But if you're wanting it super bright white, I would go with a softer lead on top. Softer core for that. And I would go with your Derwent Chinese white. That is amazing. But you can still see the white. Definitely lightens it. So let's try that over here on the Lyra. Oh, wait. Can you guys see it? Oh, wait. Blender. I was like, where did it go? Oh, that already broke. It's supposed to be harder lead. It was like, I can't see it. I can see it coming in a little bit. I'm going over this a lot. It is so thick on this paper. like thick, thick, thick. Very, very thick. Okay, so, oh, look at all the crumbs on that. I don't like crumbs neither, by the way. Just makes a mess. Okay, so there is the white on top of the Polychromos, and there is the white on top of the Lyra. You can tell the difference. And I was struggling trying to get my layering in, and the white was not showing up. It almost felt like the white was my blender. Like it just felt like a blender more for the white. Okay, so let's do something else, like, you know, like with the little bee and stuff. Like it was so hard for me to go in there and be able to get any kind of little lines. And I know it can be hard with these too because there's so much pigment on the paper. Oops, not supposed to do that. I will use, was going to do this one here. So the blending, it did good with the blending. As far as like with odorless mineral spirits, it really blended out super, super nicely, moved. It did dull down the color. But if you can layer on top of it again, then it should be no problem. Shouldn't be. But let's go ahead and do this. I want to see just how much it dulls down the color with using odorless mineral spirits to the Polychromos compared to using odorless mineral spirits on the Lyras. That was a really sharp lead, sharp point. And I'm pushing down, kind of like, not too hard, but I mean, not too soft. Kind of like a regular, just kind of fill in that you would normally do. It's kind of a light hand. For me, it's a light hand, and not burnishing. Okay. Let's go over here to Lyra. Yeah, figured that end would break off. And we're going to run through and do a circle. Make sure enough pigment's on the paper, which believe me, I already know that there is plenty of pigment on the paper with the Lyra because there's just a lot of buildup. Like this is harder. Like I feel like there ain't a whole bunch of pigment down that I can put several more layers on this before the tooth of the paper is filled up, while this one here just feels really waxy and built up that, yeah, it don't feel very good. Not what I was expecting. So let's go ahead and blend this out with odorless mineral spirits. I'm going to try and create like a nice little square out of it. Maybe kind of a square with cut off ends. Okay. So there's the Polychromos. So let's do that with this side. Okay. Besides all the extra stuff on it. Now these are going to be different colors because they're not exactly the same colors, but you can kind of tell too on which ones are kind of washed out a little bit more than the other. And it just seems like the odorless mineral spirits really ate through a lot of the stuff on it than it did on the Polychromos. And Polychromos, it left a lot of the pigment. Like it's really still kind of a rich color. Maybe we could do that again. Let's do that with the black Polychromos. Maybe you can see that better with black and black using the same colors. So let's do it that way. So just creating some black. We'll blend out with odorless mineral spirits. And then we'll see the color difference. I have to turn my pencil. It's really eating it down really quick. And you can also tell by just doing it this way on how much richer the black is and darker the black is on the Polychromos than you are with the Lyra ones. It already looks richer in color. So let's go ahead and blend this out. We're going to do circles, and then we're just going to come straight across, and then come straight across. There. Let's do the same thing. Let's do circles, straight across, blend out. Okay. And this is still just a little bit damp still, but you can still tell, I don't know if you guys can see very well or not on how it's coming through on the camera, but this one here on the polychromo side still has more of a richer, darker pigment than the Lyra side has. All right, so basically all in all, I want to say, and I'm going to do this real quick, I'm pulling out another set here. This here is the Polycolor oil pencil pocket set. Now I have used these. I created the boot, old-timey boot, and it had like a butterfly on it, and it was really, really cute. Like, I absolutely love. So these are different things. It says soft, extra soft. This is oil. Are these oils, or let's see here, these should be oil. Nero, I don't know how to say it. Let's go ahead and grab just one of these. I don't care which one it is. Let's see here. Let's do brown. Sepia light oil. Sepia dark oil. Okay, so I want to take this and I want to see how the feeling is with it real quick, because I'm really thinking, ooh, oh my god, this is an oil pencil too. Thing is that the core of this feels so much harder. This feels like the polychromos, more like the polychromos than it does the Lyra ones. I wonder if there's an extra soft. Let me try the extra soft. So this one here is more or less aligned with the polychromos than the Lyras. So let's do Nero extra soft. Nope, still, I don't know. Still got a much better feeling though. Not very waxy or oily. Not too soft. Gets a nice black color. Wow. Let me try this again. Nope, not even close. All right. These Polycolor oil ones. I hate to say this. This is so bad, but I have to say it. These feel better than the Rembrandt Polycolor to me. That's my feeling. Like, I created a really cute piece with this. I probably could create something with that, but I'm going to be struggling and not having as good of a time creating as I do with my polychromos or actually the Polycolor ones. Because I really enjoyed working with the Polycolor ones, and they actually feel more aligned, closer to a polychromos pencil than the Polycolor. I really don't know what to compare them to. Oh, I got one more set. Let's try it. I hope you guys don't mind. Let's try it. This is gonna make me laugh. I don't ever use these. I used them once, and then I didn't really care too much for them, but these are the Holbein Artist Color Pencils. Probably one of the most expensive color pencil that you could probably get, and not for sure why. But, yeah, these are the Holbeins. Let's see. Yeah. Now, these have more of an oily feel. This is a little bit harder, but it's still got that same oily feel, just not as much as the Holbeins. Holbeins are darker, or Holbein. Darker, but still getting that oily kind of feel. Okay, so there we go. I don't know how to put this for you guys, but the closest thing I could come to is Lyra. Kind of feels like the Holbein in a way. It's almost like here's the real mayonnaise and here's the light mayonnaise. Like it feels like there is a whole lot of, like, this one here just feels similar. Like it's got a lot of like wax or oil in it that makes it a little bit softer like feeling, and you get a lot of buildup from the Lyra. And the Holbein kind of feels the same way, except it's got a lot of buildup also. It's just not as, this one here kind of feels similar to this, just not as much. So it's closer related, I would say, on the feeling that you get, except that you would have to use a lot of layers to get more pigment down. This seems to get a lot of pigment down really, really quick, the Holbein, and it is still thick, and the color is a lot more richer. Like this seems to be a lot darker than the Lyra, so it's like an off-brand like to this. I don't know what to say, but that's about as close as I can possibly get as these oil-based pencils. They're not that hard. So yeah, I don't know if any of you guys are going to be like, no, they're not nowhere near the Holbein. Okay, well, it's the closest thing for an oily, waxy build, just not as much. Like this one here feels like it's more of a waxy build than the Lyra, but it's still got that feeling. When you go over the top of it, it still has that oily, waxy build, and it gets really thick. And this one does too, almost like a crayon. You know how a crayon gets really thick? This one does too, but it seems like the Holbein gets a little bit more, but the pigment is really rich. So that's a really nice thing, is that the pigment's rich. So the Holbein would probably be a lot softer of a core than the Lyra, but they're similar on the feeling of them. So that's about as good as I can get for a review on these pencils. I didn't know I was going to try and do any kind of comparison kind of stuff to it, but it was bothering me so bad, and I absolutely love color pencils, so I had to get it out of the way for you guys, just in case if any of you know. But like, this is just my opinion. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. If you absolutely love these Rembrandts and you don't like my opinion of them, they're just my opinion. I mean, I don't mean no, like they're horrible or anything like that. I'm just trying to describe to you or to anybody else who may not know how they feel, but also wanting to let you guys know that I'm just not, the way I create my artwork, I'm not a big fan of these because it's not how I do my artwork. It's not my process. So it kind of feels different, and not a good different, more of I give up. I don't want to do them. I don't want to do it anymore. So that's just me. So anyways, I'm glad to do this review for you guys. Other than that, the paper is nice, and definitely got quite a few little tiles in here to work with, and you could do like inks, maybe give them as a gift or something, or create like little tiles of different images and put it into a frame, and you can have several little paintings put together. So, and the sharpener turned out really, really nice. I do like the sharpener, and I absolutely like the big sharpener here for my Brilliance, the metallic pencils. They're really, really thick, and it fits in there just perfect. So, and of course we got our art journal, just dropped that, which of course is really nice. I do like art journals, but I don't have time to usually draw in them, so who knows? maybe it might end up being a giveaway or a gift or something to somebody. So we never know what's going to happen with that, but I will put it away and save it for that day. So this here is basically, well, not these, but the poly or color here. Let's put that on top. And I don't know if you guys can see the art journal, but this here is the March 2025 Paletteful Pack Box final review. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, I know it's hard to remember because I know I have a tendency to do it too, but please hit that like button and share this video. I know most of you, at least some of you, have been sharing this video, and I appreciate it so much, and leaving comments. So I don't want to forget about you guys too. All those things help YouTube push this video out there. So it's all about the algorithm. So if we could leave a like, share, leave a comment, any of those things definitely helps this channel grow. If you've been doing it, like I said, I just appreciate it so much. I mean, you don't understand. Thank you. And we just need to keep on going. And hopefully we can get more to just start liking and sharing. So anyways, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I definitely would like to have you guys on the channel because we do have live streams every Tuesdays where I'm changing up the mediums, working live, so you can see everything that I do. Whether or not if I make a mistake, I'll show you how to correct it. If things, what colors I'm using, I kind of go over and just grab colors, talk about what I'm using, and we're just doing different things. And also you can feel free to ask questions at that time, to where if you're struggling with something else at home and maybe you're not for sure, you can always ask me there on the live stream and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. So I guess until next time, bye you guys.